Today we're going to start our door data spreadsheet, and we're going to use Google Sheets for this. If you open up the Google Classroom assignment, it should be a view similar to this, except that up here in the right side corner will be your work. You're going to click on Create Google Sheet, and it will give you a new blank Google Sheet. I'm going to go ahead and title that. Yours is probably already auto-titled with door data spreadsheet, and probably has your last name if it did it correctly. Then we're going to go to row 1, and we're going to go ahead and put in our title here. And our title is going to be Hill Middle School Door Data. I'm going to type that in, and I'm going to make it size 18 and bold. And I want this to span across several columns here. So I'm going to highlight cell A1 through E1 and select those. I'm going to use this tool right here called the Merge Cells. And it's going to take those individual cells and turn them into one long cell all along this one row. I'm going to do the same thing here for row 2, from cell A2 through E2, merge those together, and that's where I'm going to go ahead and put in collected by. You're going to put in your name, again, size 18, bold, centered, and make it as large as you need to be able to see that. So I'm going to actually make column A a little bit larger here. If I click right between the A and the B column headers here, you see I get this little tool. Looks like a double arrow. I can drag it over, make it a little bit wider. I'm going to need that area for me to type in my information. Now, using your door data that you collected, you can get to this a couple of different ways. One way is you can click on this link right here, and it's going to take you to those photos that we took in class where you have a collection of all these different data collections. So if you don't have your original collection, or if it's not up on the wall, you can just kind of pull it from this. Now, depending on how you represented your data, it might be a little bit hard to pull some of the specific data if you didn't write specific numbers like this one here. If you have tally marks, those will work perfect. If you have more of a graphic representation, might be a little bit harder. And if that's the case, or if you were absent, you can either use one of your neighbor's data, or you can use this sample door data collection that I used when I went around and I counted out 33 different doors, and I had 4 different categories. I had window, no window, material, open, closed, and then where it leads to, or destination. Okay, so either one of those, no matter where you're at with your data, you should have either your data, or you can use my sample data. And you're going to start in cell A5 here. We're going to go ahead and type in what the first category is. So for my particular one, I happen to have data category 1, which is whether or not it happens to be opened or closed. Okay, and I'm going to make that bold, and it makes it stand out as a column header a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and put in what my categories are, or what my different data subsets are here. So I have basically just open, and I have closed. And then I'm going to go ahead and type in what my totals were. So I had, let's say I had 5 open, and let's say I had 35 closed. Now, just as a point so that you're not copying these numbers do not match this sample door data. So I want you to make sure that you're using your actual data, or the sample data. But for this example, that's what I have here. Then I'm also going to come up with total doors, right? Because I want to be able to do a formula that will add these together. I'm going to make total doors go over here to the right. I'm going to make it align to the right. And I'm going to also actually make it bold because it looks a little bit different. And I'm going to come up with a formula for this to add these two together. There's a couple of ways I can do this. I can do a simple formula where I click where I want the answer to go, type an equals sign, and you can see it's actually giving me a little suggestion for a function. But I'm going to do a simple where I just click on the first one, press the plus symbol, click on the second one, and that is going to do cell B6. So this cell here, you can see it highlighted in orange, plus B7, which happens to be the 35, and I press enter. Now, I don't want you to just manually calculate this in your head and type in a 40. If I double click on this, I should be able to see a formula that is actually calculating that for me. All right. So that's my first set of data. Now, if I went through and I did all my other types of data here, I'm going to do a real quick sort of movie magic here and type in all my other different types of data. And I actually am going to go through and make my column headers here underlined as well. You can see I did my